the sauce.
So what I wanted to talk about today has been bothering me since like the instant I got here, I guess. Like the instant I was exposed to social media and artists on social media. Adoptables. Look at this, okay? Let's zoom in. Look at this beautiful specimen. Adoptable, $4, DM to buy, okay? So, for those who don't know, NFTs and adoptables have a surprising amount in common. An adoptable is a character presented as a drawing by an artist for the sake of being sold to someone who wants to own it, someone who can't think of a better character design, I guess. I don't know. You say, so it's art. Not quite. So like if I drew this character here, this purple furry art here, theoretically I would be stealing, right? If there is enough reason to believe that my drawing stole this character and the original creator of this character wanted to do so, he could take my art down. Like, yeah, it is fucking retarded. Like, well, that's how it is. If someone makes art and they post it online, they are the owner of the art. They are the original poster. They created the art. There are legal protections for people who want to stop others from impeding on their intellectual property. Of course, they would never do this. This guy would never actually hire someone to back him up in court. He would never, like, pay the court fees. He would never do any of that shit for a $4 character that he drew. That begs the question, why? Why even charge $4? They charge $4 so that people will pay for the right to use the character, from what I understand, at least. They can also repost the art. But as we'll see in just a second, there is a lot of bullshit surrounding this, all right? I'd like to apologize before this loads here. The guy who wrote this is weird as fuck. This dude is strange. From what I can tell, he seems to actually be a lawyer who is also a furry. He is a furry lawyer. And he wrote an entire article on this whole adoptable thing. Now, I'm not gonna read through the entire thing here live on stream. I'm going to save you guys the headache that is reading this article. I will touch on exactly why it is a headache, though, real quick, because it's absurd. I will read the intro. You'll immediately be able to tell what the issue is. All right? Welcome to yet another Furry Friday here on Lawyers and Liquor, where the multicolored menagerie turns the boozy barrister into a mad mustelid for one day out of the month in order to discuss a legal issue related to the fandom full of giant critters. So buckle up the harnesses, shine up the tags on your leashes, and sit down with a dog bowl full of coffee and stay as we dig into the intellectual property particulars behind one of the finest traditions of furry art, the adoptable character. So, in short, an adoptable character is created by artist A, who after being purchased can be used by buyer A in any work they want to get from artist A or any other artist, and could, in theory, consent to allow others to use as well. Okay, I don't know if that made sense, but he's essentially saying it is a character whose ownership is put up for sale. Boom. You can use this character in your art. You can use this character in whatever the fuck you want. You paid for the right. Now, I will save you all of the trouble. I read this whole article, every little bit of it. At the end of the day, the artist gets money and still retains the right to the art. Yeah, that's all there is to it. When you pay for an adoptable, you're not paying for anything. You're not even paying for ownership. What you're literally paying for, like, if you really wanted to get down to the nitty-gritty, what you're paying for is for the artist to keep themselves at bay and not report you for stealing your art or their art, or not cancel you for stealing art, whatever the fuck. Buying an adoptable does not actually do anything in court. You might have some leg to stand on if there's a significant dialogue between you and the artist during the exchange and receipts are kept, but there is no protections for the person who buys an adoptable. The artist can literally sell an adoptable and tell the person that they just sold it to, just kidding, you got scammed, fuck you, goodbye, and copyright claim whatever video they put the art in, or whatever, like profile images, I don't know, like any instance of copyright infringement, surprisingly enough, could be defended in court. Now, no artist is going to go that far, but they can definitely like do whatever little shit like reporting and stuff, and yeah, they're fully within their right. They are selling the right to use a character, okay? Now, before I press enter here, I want to ask, at what point am I infringing on someone's intellectual property? At what point am I using their character? Well, you would need to identify the character. To identify a character, you need to have identifiable traits, okay? So making some art of a normal brown dog, for instance, this dog right here, making this dog and then selling it as an adoptable is absurd, because there are no defining character traits to this drawing. This is too vague. There is nothing standing out on this character's design to warrant making it an adoptable. It's just a dog. On top of that, look at what it says right here. Base by QWERTY. What? Base by QWERTY? This is another artist. The base that they're speaking of is the line art. The person who made this adoptable took someone else's line art and colored over it. And so what they are essentially selling in this instance is the idea of a character, the essence of a character, a color scheme, a palette, maybe, possibly some 2D shapes, a heart. There's something identifiable there, some patterning here. They're selling some basic concepts. Not even the art is owned by the person selling this shit. People actually do buy these adopts. For one, someone here did. They spent 17 USD, and they aren't even allowed to take credit for the design. They don't own the design. Change whatever you want about the design within reason, as long as you don't claim the original piece as your own work. That makes me wonder though, yeah, they literally bought it. What are they paying for then? Credit them for the design. Bro, they paid to not have to do that. It's theirs now, right? They own it. Well, legally speaking, the artist is 100% in the right to do that. As a matter of fact, they're being really nice by stating this beforehand. If they wanted, they could just not say this and then take down someone else's art and give this reason. Oh, you didn't credit me. So God bless. Thank you for actually posting that little caveat there in the replies, not in the actual tweet, instead flooding the tweet with nothing but fucking hashtags. Next one that I wanted to cover. This is an adoptable that explicitly steals from an existing intellectual property. You guys may be familiar with it. It's called Hell of a Boss. And they simply took the concept from the cartoon and put some new clothes on them, recolored their fur, maybe changed their face a bit. They took someone else's shit and are now selling them for $60 and $70 respectively. Someone stealing one of these is not much different from you going to Has Been Hotel, or a Hell of a Boss, my bad, Hell of a Boss, and taking that design and making these. Finally was able to get at Poodlewise adopt base. So this person took someone else's adopt base here. They didn't even notify them. They put a slash there after the at. And yeah, took their line art, colored over it, made some minor adjustments here and there. And now they're selling these drawings for $20. And there are zero standout traits about especially this rabbit on the right. If I made a, if I had never seen this and I wanted to make an anthropomorphic rabbit, it would look just like this. So I was looking around and I saw this thread on DeviantArt. Why do you buy adoptables? Well, interesting question. I wonder what the people of 2014 have to say about adoptables. Well, scrolling through, I saw Mr. Snow Leopard here posting a wall of text amongst all these ooh-woos, oh-woes, and C colons here saying, I don't know. I think a lot of people who buy them wrongly believe that the original artist will attack them for just using it without buying. Though I'm not saying people should take Darth Vader's suit and use it for one of their characters in a completely unrelated to Star Wars story. At the same time, you can't really claim that you own a design. So he has a lot to say about it, and I agree with pretty much everything he says. There's like 1 or 2 things here that I did not agree with. But if you want to read all this, go ahead, pause the video now. There's a lot being said here, and I agree with most of it. I'm not the only one. The point of me showing this is I'm not the only one here. If we go to the heart of art, in 2014, we see someone questioning the reason behind buying Adoptables. And yeah, it's fucking stupid. So I would like to use this moment to elaborate on my stance here. The adoptable is not the issue. I have no problem with adoptables. You can do whatever you want with your adoptables, with your drawings. You can put them out on the internet for anyone to use for free. You could have anyone who uses it banned on Twitter. You could print it out and shove the paper up your ass. You could do whatever you want with the art for all I care. But what I have a problem with is the mass hysteria behind buying art in this way. There should not be this many people buying adoptables. There's no reason. You could say they're donating, but at that rate they could donate. They don't have to go through all the trouble of buying an adoptable. You don't get anything out of the adoptable anyway, right? So then what's the point of donating through that medium? Why not just send them some money? If it's not about donating and you think you're getting something out of it, well, you've been scammed, my friend. You've spent money on nothing. You could have just drawn someone's character that they put up as an adoptable, and you'd be doing, essentially, legally, the same thing that you would have been doing had you purchased it, because you have just as much ownership over it after as you did before. The only thing that you're really paying for is maybe some respect, I guess. Like, you're paying money to be able to draw someone else's character without getting yelled at for stealing a design. But if you have to credit the artist anyway half the time, then what, like, truly, what is the point? So, like, yeah, that's what I have to say about this shit. At the end of the day, adoptables aren't bad. They shouldn't exist, but the fact that there's a market for it means that they do exist. And for those who are paying money for adoptables, please stop. You're wasting your money. So, yeah. That concludes my point. I've been listening to the fucking opening theme to Pokemon.